We're only 1 week away from the craziness that happens up in Park City with Sundance and Slam Dance. Speaking of Slam Dance, we have one of the directors for the opening night film. This is Cullen Hoback. He has a film called What Lies Upstream. It's a really cool documentary, but Cullen, can you tell us a little bit about the film?
The film starts with a small idea. It starts with this question of what happened in West Virginia? How did a mysterious chemical get into the drinking water and poison 300,000 people? So I start by just wanting to understand how that happened, and that really just is the inciting incident. Because the film really becomes about how the entire system to protect drinking water in America is fundamentally broken.
It seems like environmental documentaries are all the rage right now. What drew you to this topic?
I mean, I think that it often happens where a documentarian may be drawn into the more emotional side, the people who have been really affected. And for me, I think we know that the people are affected, and I wanted to really focus on the political side and the regulators. And this isn't what I expected. I think most films, you set out when you're making a documentary and you end up making something very different than what you set out to originally make. But it ended up really being about the regulators, and I have two key regulators in West Virginia and some of the regulators in Flint, Michigan, who end up being at the center of this story, as are scientists, actually, because it really ends up looking at the interrelationship between how science and law dictate whether or not our water is safe or not. So the film itself actually is a detective story. And I guess I played the role of the surrogate in this detective story.
You're obviously an outstanding filmmaker. Why was this the most important story for you to tell right now?
Well, more than anything else, I mean, it's both an environmental film, but it's also a film about public health. And they really are overlapped. And I think that of course, nobody really saw this political situation coming unless you were in West Virginia, right? Because West Virginia, this whole story is basically a microcosm of America, and in many ways sets up and explains why Donald Trump became president and the kind of mindset and the kind of political shenanigans that get someone like him, someone ultra rich, in power. I mean, if you look in West Virginia right now, they elected the richest man in the state, a coal billionaire, to run the entire state. So, and if you want to look at what's going to happen to our environment and our public health, look no further than what happened in West Virginia. I mean, I won't be the first person, I won't be the last one to say that it was really the canary in the coal mine. So was Flint. I mean, that's how we know now that thousands of communities actually have worse lead conditions than Flint. So these are both just little markers that show us what's to come. And for me, I really wanted to get behind closed doors. I wanted to see those kinds of decisions that are made by industry and lobbyists and politicians and regulators that we don't normally get access to. And I felt really privileged to have top regulators in West Virginia give me, very privileged access. And they were very genuine and open with me. And I don't think this film could have existed if I didn't have that kind of top-level political access.
Now we're almost out of time. Can you give our audience an idea of how they can find out more about your film?
Well, two things. One, we have a Kickstarter, so you can actually find out a lot more information if you just type in What Lies Upstream on Kickstarter. We're just raising a little bit of finishing funds. We also have a website, whatliesupstream.com. So those are two good resources in the lead up to the film. And probably the website after the film is released. So.
Cullen, thank you so much. What Lies Upstream is going to be the opening night film at Slam Dance, and it will be screening one more time. We'll put that information in the descriptions below. If you'd like to find out more about the amazing films that are coming to Utah this month, be sure to take a look back on Film Buzz TV and right here at the Daily Herald.